It's time for Talking Habs live game hangout of the Montreal Canadiens. Here's your hosts, Rick and Matt. Yeah, but the game's canceled, so we're going to hang out anyway. Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge. Matt might show up, Matt might not show up, I don't know, but I'm here. So, no hockey tonight, as I'm sure everybody knows by now. Games are postponed and canceled and whatever. No cross-border. Teams aren't going cross-border. All of Montreal's next 6-7 games are in the States, so they won't be doing that. And besides, the team has been shut down for all their activity because of the COVID cases, so they're not doing anything. So let's see who's here. Hey, Daryl and Eric. Happy pre-Christmas Habs shutdown. I could use the break myself personally with everything, but I mean, that's, it's not a good thing. I don't know where it's going to go. Daryl says, good NHL shutdown, because once they come back, hope all players are back and maybe we can get some wins together. Still won't change still won't change much. Not going to be a playoff team, no matter what they do. Unless, everybody else stays out and Montreal is able to play by themselves and then they win all the games. It's not happening. So we have 0 games. It's basically a shutdown. I believe we should probably hear something tomorrow, latest maybe Wednesday, about an actual shutdown across the board for the NHL. They're also going to announce in the next couple of days whether they're going to the Olympics, which you can expect them to say no, they're not going to the Olympics. There's probably already too many games for them to have to make up before they go to the Olympics. So I think that's going to cause them not to go, besides the COVID stuff. Hey, Habs Guru, how's it going? So, we'll see what happens. For now, we're in a shutdown, essentially. The Habs there's 9 or 10 teams now that are officially shut down. How many more teams can they shut down before they actually shut the league down? I don't know. How many teams are available? Apparently, there's a Vegas-Tampa Bay game tonight, and both teams not affected by COVID. So, you just never know. Eric, I would have to think, probably shut down till first week of January. I think that's what's going to end up happening, because they're going to have to shut down for about 2 weeks, 10 days to 2 weeks, I think. So we'll see what happens, but it's coming. So my prediction of no fans in the stands, well, it's coming true. It has come true, and there won't be any games either. So yeah, it's not fun. It's not ideal. That's for sure. I personally don't mind the break in a way. I'm getting tired. COVID scared myself. I'm not feeling well lately, so I went out to get a test, but there was nothing available. They don't have enough tests to go around, even though they said there'll be tests for everybody available starting tomorrow, starting Monday, which is today. But yeah, I wasn't able to get one. I'm feeling better than I was over the weekend, but still feeling a little off. So do I have it? Don't I? I don't know. They just tell you for the symptoms I've got, you got to be careful about it. But I'm not very sick, if I'm sick really at all. Just headache, sore throat kind of thing. Anyway, it is what it is. Hope everybody else out there is doing well. And, I'll probably come on for the nights the games are supposed to be on. Until we get back. Anyway, we'll still do live streams and just say hi to everybody. ICT, Bye-Bye, and 420. How's it going, everybody? Bye-Bye, no, it looks like the World Juniors are going to take place. First of all, 2 reasons. Or maybe the one that's important. Taking place in Calgary. That's Alberta. Alberta's basically the Florida of Canada, and they don't really care what goes on. So I kind of think the World Juniors might take place. One pre-tournament game for each team, and that's on the 23rd, and then the games are supposed to happen on the 26th. So we'll see what happens with that. Caden Gooley was named the captain for the Canadian team. So Captain Caden, and if they play, it would be imagine being it's pretty disappointing to be named captain, and then they say, "Guess what? We're not playing." Yeah, will he get another opportunity next year? I don't know. Eric, it's about all we got to look forward to hockey-wise. I have a feeling it might take place. I mean, it might. It's still a few days away, but it's got a chance, I guess, because it's so soon coming up right now, and in Alberta. I mean, it could take place. Not sure if it will, though. Not going to be shocked if they cancel it tomorrow or whatever. So who knows what we'll have over the Christmas holidays? It's going to be boring Christmas here in Quebec. They're pretty much we're not being locked down, but we're going back to some closures and big restrictions and stuff like that. Hey Pablo, some Pablo hype and some Dono hype in that room, please. Pablo says, "Hey Rick, hope you're doing well. I am. I mean, I feel like a little run down. I had a headache for like 5 days, but that went away today actually. So maybe I'm on the mend. Like I just don't know. Let's hope the situation resolves and hope everyone is staying healthy and safe. That's all we can really hope for. And yeah, let's hope it resolves. Right? We already know about what happens when they start locking down and crap. I'm not happy with the restriction. Well, listen, restrictions aren't so bad. It's lockdowns. We haven't got locked down. That's not that, but there's a lot of closures and stuff like that. And it's trying on everybody, I am going for my booster shot on Thursday. So there was supposed to be a game Thursday. I might not do a live stream Thursday because I don't know how I'm going to feel. So if I happen to get sick from the shot, which I didn't from my other two, this will be my first mRNA one. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, but I'm going for mine on Thursday. And fingers crossed. Fingers crossed I'm healthy. I think I'm okay, and I checked. You can get your shot even if you think you have COVID. I guess I'll find out when I go there. They'll take my temperature. If I got a temperature, they'll probably say no. I think they'll still give the shot, though. They still should. Great combination. Habs losing COVID. It saves us from some bad games to watch. That's for sure. No, I saw something on Twitter that I don't know if it's confirmed, but there won't be any fans in the stands in January if they start games up. So we're looking at being back at that point where no fans in attendance. So for the for the immediate future. Apparently this thing around the Omicron one, which is now the dominant variant everywhere, apparently runs through pretty quick. Still not proven, but they're hoping. And if that's the case, yeah, I think maybe by February we can kind of get back to normal. Whatever normal is anymore. Pablo, as of the time we are doing this, they are still planning to go through with the World Juniors. As I was saying just a few minutes ago, it's taking place in Alberta. Alberta, the Florida of Canada. They allow whatever the hell you want to do, and that's pretty much. I think it might go on because of that. Eric, probably, yeah, it's probably going to end up being like like the flu shot every year. You get it. And if you get the COVID, you don't get sick or get very sick. It is what it is. It's here and it ain't going anywhere. Looks like so. Yeah, I'm getting my booster, and if by all, basically maybe you might need 2 shots a year. Might be that. We'll see. Well, Quinn, I'm not sure the lockdowns are coming. The restrictions obviously started as of tonight. Even the heavier the restrictions that they said were starting Monday, they've even added to that starting tonight. So bars, Bars, theaters, gyms, stuff like that closed. Restaurants only from 5 to 10 for in and at half capacity and stuff like that. It's like there's restrictions now. We're not locked down though. I don't know that it'll come to lockdowns. I'm hoping not. Believe me, I was in favor last year. I was. No problem. I don't know that I'm in favor for lockdowns at this point. I think we can go without the lockdowns and just restrictions to get through this. I'm okay with that, but I'm not happy or I'm not looking forward to being locked down again. Quinn, I don't know. I'm just saying I hope not too. I'm not going to say they better not. I'm not going to go out and protest. I'm not going to go and be one of those people. I'm not. But I don't really want to be locked down again. All right, Eric. Well, I wish they would open those boosters up to everybody. Some provinces, yeah. Quebec hasn't. Quebec is just a shit show for this fifth wave. Just a shit show in their response to it. It's ridiculous. You think they'd learn. All they learned was, oh, you know what? Language fight's more important than anything else. Let's fight for the language. And then, if COVID happens, whatever, we'll do whatever when we have to. And that's Quebec. More important what language you speak, not whether you're living or dying. Yeah, well, Quinn, like I said, I'm not looking forward to lockdowns, but the restrictions don't bother me too much. I think it sucks for the restaurants and stuff like that. I get that, but they're not shutting them down yet. So, by that 60+ thing is ridiculous. I think for everywhere should be 18 and over across the board. And I think here in Quebec, I didn't see the numbers for today or yesterday, but they're over 4,000. It's running rampant. Racist fan rocks. Good to see you, buddy. I don't remember seeing you before. Welcome to the channel. I think we're gonna get something like that. Shut down till January 1st, first week of January, and then why not have the first game be an outdoor game? Why not? But I think we're gonna get that. I think we'll hear something in the next couple of days. I really think the NHL is just trying to get as many games played as they can, so that fewer games to have to make up. I mean, I guess 485. I mean, that's kind of like us having 4,000. I didn't hear the numbers for today or yesterday, but I know they were going to be over 4,000, well over 4,000. So we'll see. Yeah, races. I don't think they're going to go to the Olympics, and that's the plan, right? And that's the reasoning too. The players have the decision, but the NHL can override that if they need to make up the games, which clearly they're going to need to. So, I think that's the 3 weeks they put aside in February. Yeah, we'll be playing games instead, which is fine. I mean, I like Olympic hockey. I do, but I don't think it makes sense to go. Not at this point, and especially with what the players would have to do if they get COVID down there. If I'm a player, I don't go and take that chance. Besides, do we really even trust the Chinese government? I don't think I do. So for that, I wouldn't be going there. So we got here. We got 15 people in tonight. Awesome. That's pretty good. Give a thumbs up if you're having a good time. I don't know what to be good and have a good time about when all this garbage going on, but we can have some good conversation. Could Habs host an outdoor game at Saputo Stadium and build more seating? You're asking the wrong guy, Renault. Could they? I imagine they could. But the attendance, I don't think would be enough. So I don't know. I don't know where they would hold an outdoor game here. I don't think they have to start playing outdoors. They have to kind of shut down, let this stuff run through the league, and then start up again. I mean, to have to play all their games outdoors, that's not happening either. So I don't expect the NHL to all of a sudden say, "Oh, we're going to give every team an outdoor game," because it's just one game for every team anyway. It doesn't really change anything. No, they got to get a handle on this and just find a way to start up again. What's the status of the Big O? It's a shitty place to see a game. You mean for like an outdoor game? I doubt it. I mean, I honestly don't know what the status of the thing is falling apart wise. I don't know. But it's a shitty place to go for kind of anything, really, to be honest with you. If you haven't been, it's not the greatest place to see a baseball game. And for a hockey game, I mean, you'd be so far away. I don't know how it would be any good. Go back to the lake? What's that? What lake are you talking about? Yeah, Reno, I wouldn't go there to the Big O. I never know, man. You're sitting there and something falls. At this point, I don't know what kind of condition that place is in. I would not take a chance. Oh, Lake Tahoe. Yeah, the thing is, those things take time to set up. I mean, I don't think they have time to start setting up games like that. They take time, and I don't think you can do it in 2 weeks or 3 weeks to set up those games. So, Eric, yeah, I wonder how this is going to affect any of that, right? The rebuild or whatever they're going to be doing. It gives them a little bit of time though to work on getting a GM and getting that process going while there's no games on. So I don't think that process will stop. And you never know. Maybe by the time they come back from all this, they'll have a GM in place. Pablo, they have that 3-week window in February that can make these games up. It depends how long this goes out. But I mean, if it goes out past a certain point, you're probably right. But at this point, I don't think it changes. They'll get 82 games in because they have those 3 weeks. Yeah, 420. I wouldn't say the Big O is okay, personally. Besides, again, to use the Big O, it takes time to get that all set up and all that. They don't have time to do that. So I wouldn't expect anything like that to happen. Believe me, it more than just sucks in there too. It's I don't remember the last time it was used really for anything. Personally, I don't remember the last time, but I do know that 20 years ago stuff was falling off of there. 30 years ago. They might give teams 2 weeks after the season. No, the season's supposed to end April 29th, which is pretty late. So I don't know that that's a thing. Renault, Dauphin's our best forward right now. Okay, but you're going to read a lot into that? I wouldn't. Anyway, he's on the COVID list right now. Wherever the next one is, they're already setting up. Not sure what that means. They keep it structurally okay? No, I don't know that I don't know that that's true. Robert Webb, how's it going, man? You're 3 women are being interviewed for Habs GM. Yeah. Do I expect a woman to be named Habs GM? I don't. I honestly don't. But you know what wouldn't surprise me at all is to see one of these women named as the assistant GM. That's something I can see them doing. I kind of think that's what they're looking for when they're doing these interviews. But yeah, I mean, there's 3 women that are being interviewed. I think it's very progressive, awesome. But I don't think a woman's going to get that job right now. Maybe in the future, but assistant GM would be great. If you want to have a woman GM, I think you got to start a woman like anybody else. You got to start as an assistant, get your footing, and go from there. But still, think it's a great thing that they're doing the interviews. Renault, I think they're going to announce that by tomorrow or Wednesday, I guess, about not going to the Olympics. Does Jets former coach speak French? Nope. Besides, listen, do we really want Paul Maurice here? First of all, old school. What's he won? What's he won? The other guy, he's not a championship coach. So I don't know. We want to recycle another coach. Not that he's been here before, but he doesn't speak French, so it's a moot point. Yeah, 420. I'll tell you what. Let them put games there. You go. I'm not going to the Big O. Beba, I think there's at least that, but yeah, there's got to be at least that for players. 114 players on the COVID list. There's just new ones added. Mike Hoffman just got added. Dauphin was added yesterday. Lehkonen the day before. Do I think this would kind of... I'm not sure. Robert Webb, I'm sorry. I still don't get it. Do you think this would kind of to the string of our first draft choice? Not sure what you're talking about. You didn't word it right. Sorry. And I'm not translating very well today. Renault, I don't know what you mean by discount, but I kind of do think if this team's rebuilding, Armia and Petrie go. But I don't know what you mean by discount. I don't think there's a need to trade. Listen, Petrie's having a bad year. Does that mean Petrie's done and you got to give him away? No, I don't think so. Pablo, yeah, no retreaded coaches. I think they're looking for a progressive guy, a younger guy. I don't see how Paul Maurice fits. Vigneault's not coming back here. Eric, I mean, that's a good point. Don't trade him unless you're getting value back. It depends on what you're looking at as value. And I think you might have to even retain some salary on Petrie to move him at this point. But I think you got to move him if they're rebuilding. So it all depends on what their plan is. Okay, what's the Nashville and Carolina thing? Next year, an outdoor game will be played on the Strip in Vegas. Using the what? That newfangled ice? I don't know if they'll have an official game on anything that's not actual ice. To be honest with you, I don't see that happening right now. Petrie's skill set will bring a lot. I think so. I think you get a first-round pick back for Petrie. You might have to hold $1 million or $2 million on his contract. I'll give you that, but I think you can get maybe a first rounder for him. You get something good for him. Only $18 million on the cap hit for Habs forward. That's about. Well, I don't know what you mean by that. Are you saying our forwards only cost $18 million? I don't see how that is true. Or if you mean like right now with all the injuries, whoever's on the roster, yeah, because a lot of the guys are from the AHL. They don't make money here. Outdoor games, Nashville and Carolina. Yeah, well, listen, you're going to get cold weather there, so you can get that happening. I don't see Vegas. Vegas means you have to use that new kind of ice that they have. I don't know that you'll have an NHL game on that. I really don't know that they'll do that. Not yet, anyway. Eric, sometimes off season will get more. Like a guy like Petrie might go better in the off season, but you might get what you're looking for at a trade deadline. Renault. Yeah, I think Bergie knew how to get players and all that. I don't know that he knew how to build a team properly. Um, and you're right about players are different today. And this is another reason why, like maybe it's one of the reasons why Maurice retired, right? He couldn't get them motivated the way he's used to doing it, right? It's different today. Players are whether you want to call it spoiled or whatever you want to call it, they're different, and it's harder. It's a different way to motivate them, a different way to deal with them. So you want to get a guy that's more adept at that. Doesn't I don't know how Ducharme is doing. I don't think he's doing well at doing that. Although he played the last game, did you see the ice time for the young kids? He must have. I don't know if he got talked to or whatever, or it's just because there's no choice. But yeah, the kids all got good ice time. And now we're going into this break, so who the hell knows if it will continue. Vegas gets cold at night during the winter, and you play at the Vegas Radiators State. But how do you keep ice during the day, though? Ice gets cold it gets cold at night. You can't make the ice at night and play a game. I know the desert gets cold at night, but not like that. Pablo, yeah, I agree with you. Sherratt will go before I think he'll go before the deadline, but you're going to get your best value for Sherratt at the deadline for teams that are contending and they want to add that depth, or they figure that that Sherratt will get them. That's the piece that'll get them over the hump. Bay by Garrett Sparks. He won his first game, I think, for LA or something. They don't make a lot of money in the ECHL. No. What kind of what are they going to do with NASCAR cars? What, on the ice? Maybe they have to skate around them in front of the crease. I don't get that. Yeah, Robert, that's not a reason. I mean, if you're putting a person in any kind of position like that just for that reason, you're asking for problems and down the road. They're not going to be. You're putting the best qualified person there, whether it's a man or a woman, but not for that reason. 420. I have no idea if there was an outdoor game in Vegas or not. And what kind of ice did they use? Matt, first of all, Matt, you're supposed to be here, but beside that, what kind of ice did they use? Well, no, that'll help them win. I don't disagree with you on what you just said there, but I mean, that won't help them win or not. And you might see that, with a shakeup like that, new people in the front office, you might see something like that happen. Baby, you got to think it would be pretty shitty ice. They did an outdoor hockey game in Vegas in the 90s. On what ice? I keep asking that. Nobody wants to answer me. Tampa played their first year in the NHL on the old baseball field outside. Like, seriously, you're saying that? Like, you can Google that, right? They did not play their first year in the NHL outside. Didn't happen. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of outdoor games, honestly, so I don't know. I don't care. What do they I don't care about racing, so it doesn't bother me if they do or they don't. Yeah, Bay, that's what I was saying. I think they're interviewing um well, they want to be looked at in a better light. I'm sure they're being progressive. I think though that I think there's a good shot you'll see one of those women that they're interviewing be an assistant GM. Matt, they used real ice? Yeah, that ice must have been garbage. All right. I mean, you guys seem to know it. I won't argue with that. Just, I wouldn't think the ice is very good. But hey, it's a great, like, gimmick. If it could be pulled off, then maybe I'll change my mind and say, yeah, maybe you're right. Because it is a great gimmick to do that. But I wouldn't think the ice is good. I wouldn't want a game where at least the ice can't be pretty good. Because it's kind of useless watching a game where you ever play hockey on shitty ice? It's not fun, really. I don't remember an outdoor game in 1991. There you go. Pablo, I'm all for it too in the front office. I just don't think it's going to be the GM. That's all I'm saying. But I think it's fantastic. And I said it when I first heard it. I think it's fantastic to have it's a total different thought process. And it's a thing that's going to happen. So why not be some of the first or one of the first to do that? I just don't think I'm putting a woman, first ever woman GM, and I'm throwing her to this media here in Montreal. No, I don't think I'm doing that. Matt's coming on in a few minutes to school me. Put your headphones on though, so we don't have to do the in case. But start off with your headphones if you don't mind. I don't know where I was in '91 that I totally didn't know there was an outdoor game. The first outdoor. Well, I guess I didn't realize when the outdoor game started because I'm just thinking now. Habs' first outdoor game, Jose Theodore was the goalie, so that's in the '90s. Am I wrong? That's in the '90s, isn't it? No, that's not. That's in 2000, early 2000. Yeah, no, '91. That's a shock. I didn't know there was an outdoor game. So, sorry. 420. I get you. We all did, but that's why I'm saying shitty ice is just shitty ice, and you can have fun. Yeah, I'm not saying but it's not really fun skating on shitty ice, man. When you're a kid, it's different. You're willing to put up with everything. I wouldn't want to be an adult, go out and see shitty ice where I'm going to catch my skates or it's bumpy like that. No, not for me. Red Fisher just had it. He was a great reporter. I don't know. By the way, shitty ice is how I got a cracked rib last time. Pretty much the last time I think the last time I played outdoor. Yeah, skating around, I hit a rut in the ice. It was at the end of the season. It was shitty ice, and I went flying like Bobby Orr, through the air, landed flat on my chest, cracked a rib. Won't forget that ever. Most pain I've ever been in at a hockey rink. Basically, that's the next worst. You go out on a warm day and you get slushy kind of ice, kind of, it's slow and it just, 420, when you're a kid, it's all magical. But as an adult, But you're right. It's the magic of hockey. And that's why we did it as kids and it didn't bother us that much. But as an adult, it's a different story. I guess I'm spoiled as an adult. When I did last bunch of times I played, it was all indoor. So it's kind of, that saying, once you're gone black, you don't go back. Once you played indoors, you don't want to play outdoors anymore. I mean, you know what I mean. Wow, Renault, you want to start controversy. Why would you even bring that up? Like, how do you know that? Why would you even think that? I mean, sure, but that's the cost of owning a team. You guys get injured and you got to pay them. So no, I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. If he did feel bad, he wouldn't say that to anybody. I don't know how you would even think that. I'm not saying you couldn't be right at all. You could be right, but I wouldn't think so. By the Heritage, was that the one with Jose Theodore wearing his toque? Yeah, but outdoor rinks here in Montreal, I don't know. We have such warm weather happen during the winter that the outdoor rinks just don't stay good. But I know they're opening up all these outdoor rinks, and they supposedly have good ice there. So none around me. And right now with my knees, I can't skate right now. Yeah, I can't think. You got to think how Carey Price has brought, just from the sales of his shirt, just all that kind of stuff. He's brought enough money back to Jeff Molson that I think he's okay with 1 year like that. Although it's been more than 1 year, honestly. But yeah. Yeah, 420. Well, hopefully mine will get fixed up. Maybe next year I'll be able to skate again. Find some. I haven't skated or played hockey in forever. But you never forget. It's like a bike. You never forget how to ride. And I miss it. Believe me, I'd love to go out and play hockey. I would. It would be fun, but I can't do it. Hey, Alpo, what do I think about Goalie getting the C? Well, it was expected. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. Will he play? Will the championships go off? I hope so, and I think he'll do us proud out there too. I got to say, I've never seen anybody wants to find controversy like you. So they're sort of what's the word I'm looking for? There's a word I'm looking for. Um, yeah, I mean, get a prospect, a really good prospect. He's could be a big star in the league. Yeah, start screwing around with him, just so that you don't have to pay him much money. Come on. Don't develop the guy properly so you won't have to pay him as much. And then, you'll say, the Habs don't develop players. Yeah. If they do that, how are they going to develop anybody? Like, which one is it? Anyway, I don't understand. Why the controversy, love? Some people just love controversy. Bay Gooley does have a mean side. I compared him to Shea Weber. People are starting to compare him to Shea Weber. He looks like he's going to be another Shea Weber type. Pablo, yeah, I mean, it's a good question. They'll have to hold money if they move him, I think, without a doubt. So, will it be hard to find suitors? I guess it depends what you're expecting to come back from. I think that's really what it is. If your expectations are high, probably be hard to find suitors. If you're willing to, not expect, to get back the sun in the sky, I think you can make a deal. I think he will. And you're right. I don't think Gordon has any attachment there, and he can move him. Hey, Andre, how's it going? Montreal likes to hold back on its young budding stars, but you're saying that they're doing it for a nefarious reason. This is what I take offense to. That's all it is. You're putting it out there like it's a nefarious reason they're doing that. And like, okay, but for what's the long-term gain there in doing that to all your players, and then what? There's no long-term gain. Just stay shitty all the time. Beba, I think he has, and right now, the last few games he's playing with, I forget who he's playing with. He's been getting power play time, so a little bit. So I think that he'll start to get some of that. It depends, right? What if they bring in 3 new puck movers, and Romanov becomes more of a stay-at-home guy? They might go that way with him. One thing's for sure, I think Gordon's going to bring in some puck moving defensemen. That's his style usually. Okay, Renault. Does anybody agree with this? I do not. I do not. Stars are mostly developed by the time they get drafted, so the club doesn't have much work to do in those cases. Nope. I think Nick Suzuki's going to be a star. Was he mostly developed, or did he need to have some development happen? He did, and he's still developing. So I don't know how you get that. If that were the case, more of these kids would come in ready to go and be big stars day one. It doesn't happen. I see Romanov as a stud defenseman too. A guy that can play a lot of minutes down the road. He's going to play a lot of minutes, give you some quality defense. Renault, I wouldn't bring Jonathan Taves here to fucking polish my shoes. It's a piece of shit. I don't want him here. Hey, James, how's it going? Oh, James, I say that all the time. They're horrible at developing. The last 2 years better, obviously, but before that, yeah, horrible developing. It's the biggest problem, and I think it's the biggest reason why we say they actually have been drafting horribly, is that they really developed the kids horribly. We would have had more kids hit the NHL than they did if they had been better in that department. I still tell you, man, you are the biggest conspiracy theorist I know on here. So they treat their players the way they do because they just want to save money, and they treat the players that don't speak French badly. Okay, I get it. Yeah, well, they had that Stéphane Lefebvre developing their players for. Then they got Joel Bouchard, and it got better, And it's only in the last 2-3 years. So, yeah, Bergie kept that guy too long. I think it's going to be different with Gordon. Gordon is big on developing players. You certainly, Eric, you certainly don't draft a guy number 1, number 2, number 3 and go, well, he's already done. We don't have to work with him. Who does that? You got it. Anyway, developing players. First of all, every player is different, and they'll develop differently at different speeds. So there's that. And there's no. You don't rush players. You rush your players, you're going to ruin them. Hey, Chicago Steve. Yeah, I guess he means Taves because can't mean Devon Taves, would he? Taves from Chicago, even up for Carey Price. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't want that guy anywhere near my team anyway. Pablo, good points, and I think Gordon's going to do a good job of complimenting these guys and going forward too. Beba, yeah, Sylvain Lefebvre was a horrible developmental coach. I think the jury's still out on J.F. Houle, but I think Gordon will address it the way he wants to. Doesn't help him though now with all the stoppages for him to evaluate this team. So we'll see what happens. You think that's what it is? He was friends of Bergie. I imagine they probably played together, right? Yeah, it's not the reason to keep a guy. Renault, you got to stop this. Come on, stop this stuff. Stop this stuff. Where do you get this from? Like, I wonder where you get this from. Yeah, when you're rebuilding, you're not trading Carey Price to take back money the same value. You don't do that. You're moving him to get pieces for the future. Jonathan Taves, not a guy for the future. They passed on Brady Tkachuk, by the way, because he wasn't a center. They went for position. Not because of his personality. If anything, that's the type of personality we kind of needed, right? That tough kind of guy. That's what we've been missing. So, in other words, Brady Tkachuk could have come here. We wouldn't hate him the way we do now. And he'd have brought that to Montreal. That's something we could have used. So to say, well, but the media wouldn't like him. And here's a guy from Quebec. I'm assuming Renault is French. And we talk about the media, the French media, and this guy is confirming it right there for us. That's how they think. So I'm sorry, Renault, but you're just proving all the bad shit we say about the media here. You're just proving it for us. Anyway. KK should never have gone that high. Probably not. They picked him because he's a center. They went for positions instead of best player available. Have a good one, 420. Thanks for being here, man. Eddie Shore. Let him know you're there. Give him the stick to the head. Let him know you're there. Play some old time hockey. Hey, Matt, how's it going?
Good.
The cavalry's here to help to save me from Renault tonight. Save me from Renault tonight, please. We have breaking news. What we got?
Effective tomorrow, the NHL and NHLPA are pausing the season.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Until Sunday.
Until Sunday.
Until Sunday.
Right. I mean, tentatively, but yeah, until Sunday, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, okay, that's right. That's after Christmas, there. Yep, that makes sense.
What's up, Pablo? Yeah, that just broke. Elliot Freeman just broke the news.
Yep, and I was saying I was expecting it by tomorrow, so they announced it tonight and stopping it tomorrow.
Yep.
James, Rick, the rest. Oh wait, Rick. I think maybe Renault is keen on what the rest of Canada sees. We hear about the French media and how they react to English. Anything in regards to the Habs, most feel it's highly discriminatory. Well, it is highly discriminatory. But he's saying that. Okay, here's what I'm talking about, Matt. You just came here. So Renault thinks that they should trade Carey Price straight up for Jonathan Toews. That's one thing. Number two is they didn't draft Brady Tkachuk because they didn't think his personality would fit for the media here.
That I believe. That I can see.
No, well, but okay, but then that's just proving that we're bowing to the freaking media.
You know, I'm not agreeing with it. But I'm just saying, like, I could see that as a possibility.
No. They drafted for position. They drafted KK for position. It's not that they didn't draft Brady Tkachuk because he's got a bad personality. Hell, if anything, that's the kind of player we needed here. Right? So,
yeah.
No. I mean, I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't buy into this garbage. And I don't accept it. Eric M., what's first Sunday in April? Renault also said this is a good question, Renault. I like that one. What are some under 30-year-old D-men Habs can make aggressive runs at? Now, remember, you're right about under 30, but you got to go like lower than that. I don't think you don't make a run at a guy that's over 25, personally. Not when you're rebuilding. You know, there might be a couple of players that have an exception. I get that, but in general, you're on the right track there. Anyway, I don't really know any at this point with everything. I mean, it's hard to kind of figure out who they can make a run at until getting closer to the deadline.
If there is a deadline with the way things are going.
Well, we're going to have to assume, okay, they come back and they get things in order. You know, you got to assume that until we know not.
That's true. But so what I need to explain to you, so I can school you a little bit on how they make ice in the desert. Basically, it's the same way that the ice is like in arenas. The way the ice is frozen and the way it's kept frozen is there's like a system, a network of pipes underneath the cement.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, that's kept at below freezing temperature to keep the ice frozen.
I get it. I'm just saying it can't be as good, but I get it. I didn't know they had all this, so that's fine.
Yeah,
listen, if I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong or I made a mistake. I have no problem there. So
but that's how they make the ice. So that's how they would have done it. They would have had to keep it a lot colder, and when they did it in LA, when they did the Stadium Series. But yeah, that's how they would do it.
Yeah, no problem. Moonlight, no problem. I did say it, but now we just had news that they're going to shut down the league tomorrow. So tonight's the last night of games till after Christmas, so till Sunday or after Sunday. So, but Mike Hoffman is on the list now. KK was a tall center. They were screaming for a center that wasn't 5'2". They drafted for position. That's why they drafted KK. It was a mistake in the long run, I think, considering Brady Tkachuk, how he's come out and everything. But and I was a Tkachuk guy. 420 says, of course, Habs bow down to the media, or else we would have the best GM and coach, not the best French one. By the way, I'm French. My real name is Pascal. But still, to say that they didn't draft a guy because they didn't feel that his personality would be accepted by the media here. I don't buy that. I don't buy that they draft that way. Nope. That should not be. If it is, there's no way that should be your criteria to not draft a guy. Yeah, the media won't like him. If there's no reason, okay, if he did something for the media not to like, I get that. Like our first round pick last year.
I was about to say that, yeah.
But what would Kachuk have? What would have been the reason for that? None. So that's no. You stayed for the breaking news. Jacob Chikrin, that is a good name. Pablo, that's a good name. Other teams are ahead of the Habs to get him. Well, no, not if you're trading. That doesn't mean other teams are. You never know. But yeah, that's a good name. That's a good young defenseman. He's at the right age. Yeah. Geothermal systems are what you're talking about, Habs Guru, says Matt.
Yeah.
Moonlight, they're not really prolonging the season because they have those 3 weeks in February. The season's already running long. April 29th. That's long.
But excuse me. The issue with that 3-week break, and I kind of touched on it during the last time I was on for a game, is when that schedule came out, the arenas basically said, all right, now we can schedule other stuff. So there could be concerts. I also think the arenas like the Garden, like
okay, but let me ask you this. I kind of think that the NHL has priority, and they might probably have a way that clauses say, listen, we have priority. You got to cancel. No?
I mean,
I thought they had
in terms of like with a concert, it maybe, but I'm thinking also with the Garden, with I know it's Scotiabank Arena, but I'm still going to call it the ACC. The ACC, these arenas that also have an NBA team, that's where it's going to kind of get dicey.
So they'll rejig they'll rejig it, but they'll have to use that time. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. They might not even come back after Christmas right away. Detroit has a 19-year-old stud in the top 10 of league scoring. They didn't have to develop. Okay, you know where that comes from? Renault says when you draft a top pick, they're already developed and you don't have to work with them. They can get right on your team. They're developed.
Yeah, not every first round pick's Connor McDavid. Sorry. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So now he's found a Detroit pick. He's got a Detroit pick that there's one. That means all of them are the same. Sorry, don't buy it.
I mean, for Christ's sake, half the top 10 of this past draft are back in college. They said screw that when I'm playing for Buffalo.
Yeah. 420 Lafleur did not retire because of I'll tell you why I remember retired. Jacques Lemaire was the coach. Jacques Lemaire was his roommate when they were playing together. Jacques Lemaire wanted to hold him back from his offense. That was the big problem, and that's why Lafleur retired, because he wasn't scoring. He didn't like the system, and he'd had enough, and he retired for that. I don't know of any other reason why Lafleur retired. Not because he talked his mind. It's not why. Babe Boy agrees with me. There are a few players when drafted are ready. I said that, but they still need developing, though. Even when they're ready to get here, they still need developing. You can't just say, oh, well, he's here. We don't have to work with him. Who ever heard of that? 420 says he's staying because we tickled his pickle with that media thing. Primo looks ready for prime time. Sorry, Primo looks ready for prime time. Him and Allen should split starting duties next season too. Yeah, I still would like to develop him a little longer, but he, it might happen.
Not every top 5 pick is going to be a Matthews or a McDavid. Like, those are your outliers. They're not all going to, come just right in and light the league on fire. That's just not what happens.
Even Matthews and McDavid developed a little bit while they were up here. They weren't fully ready. That's it. That's all. If that were the case, they'd have been as good as they've been like today, first year and every year. And that's not the case, is it? So they still develop. Who we talking about was forced into retirement? Lafleur? No, Lafleur was not forced into retirement. He didn't have the offense. Look at his numbers when he retired. Look at the numbers: 2 goals, 5 assists. I think he was 14 games, maybe less than 14 games. 2 goals, 5 assists at a good chunk of games. That's why he retired. He didn't retire because he was a big mouth. I never heard that, ever. Dave, I agree with you. Primo, I don't know that he's ready yet, Primo. They might do it anyway. I don't think Primo's 100% ready. They also put him on his off wing, Lafleur, I mean. That could be. He wasn't happy with the way they were playing him and the role he had, not because he spoke out and they made him retire. Primo's big and strong, time for him to sink or swim. So there's the development gone. So at this point, Primo should be developed. Yeah, let's not work with him anymore. Put him out there. He's either good or he's not.
Guy Lafleur retired in 91.
No, that's the second time. He retired in 1984 the first time.
Oh, yeah, 85. Then he came back in 88. But yeah, no, you're right. 2 goals, 3 assists.
2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points. No offense in Lemaire's new system. That's why he retired.
Yeah, and like he went from 30 goals, 40 assists to 2 goals, 3 assists. That's crazy. How the hell does that happen?
Montembeault helped get Bergie fired. That's poetic justice.
How did it, like? I mean,
off the wall comments with Renault tonight.
How long? Wait, when did? How long was Lemaire the coach?
He was a named coach at the end of the season before, I believe. Bob Barry got fired, and so he had just started.
Yeah, Lafleur went from 30 goals and 40 assists in 80 games to 2 goals, 3 assists in 19 games.
Yeah, and I think it was a case kind of like with Patrick Roy and Mario Tremblay, where because Lemaire coached, they were formerly roommates when they were on the road, and then the dynamic changed, and I think that had more to do with it and the offense than to say that because he was outspoken. I mean, come on.
No, you're what you said makes total sense. Because then when he came back with the Rangers in the Nordiques, he went back to, obviously not what he was because he was, older at that time. But, 18 goals, 27 assists, 12 goals, 22 assists, 12 goals, 16 assists.
Yeah, but he was older by a good deal at that point, so you didn't expect it. But
it wasn't, 30 goals, 40 assists down to 2 and 3.
Yeah, he couldn't produce. He couldn't produce under Lemaire's system, and that's why he retired. Yeah, I not that I saw Guy Lafleur's interviews, but I never heard that before. Guy Lafleur always kind of spoke his mind. Did he get traded for that? No. He didn't get traded. He never got traded, so. James Shaw's got it right. Bergie got Bergie fired. Lemaire, I don't know that he was coach here a while. He coached here a little bit, but I don't think he liked coaching here. He was coached for a while, definitely with New Jersey, and I'm not sure where else, but not here in Montreal that long, if I'm right. I think it was just the end of 84 after they fired Bob Barry, 85, and I think 86 was Jean Perron. So he was here for the 1 year, and then the next year was Jean Perron, because Jean Perron won the Stanley Cup in the 86 Stanley Cup with Montreal. Pablo, 83 or 84? Because I thought Bob Barry got fired in 84. I can't check that here. 420, absolutely, I would not tell you that because that's exactly why Carbo got traded. That's not the same thing as Guy Lafleur. It's not the same thing. Guy Lafleur did not get traded. Carbo got traded out of here. Guy Lafleur retired. If I'm correct, not too much you could tell Guy Lafleur to do. He was on his own mind. He retired instead of asking for a trade.
More breaking news, this time from Le Canadiens de Montreal. Caden Gooley has been named captain of Team Canada.
Oh, yeah, but we knew that going in.
Yeah.
I mentioned that going in. We talked about that at the beginning.
Okay.
Now, that was this afternoon. That's not breaking news at this point.
No. Yeah, no. It's I was just refreshing my feed. And
okay, LaFleur said it then. That's fine. We'll agree to disagree on that one. And that's fine. And I'll say, I'm always open to the fact that I could be wrong. I just don't think I am on that. 6-day NHL, at least a 6-day, yeah. Bayby's got it right. Lemaire only coached 2 years. And not a full 2 years. He coached 84 after they fired Bob Barry, and he coached the 85 season, and then they hired Jean Perron. And Jean Perron won the Cup in 86. Can anyone confirm what? That Guy Lafleur said that he got forced out of Montreal? Okay. If they, listen, Guy Lafleur was tradable, my friends. He was tradable. Why wouldn't they trade him then? They let him just retire and not try to trade him? I don't know. Unless you can prove that, I'm going to stick with mine. Lemaire coached for 17 years, but only here for 2. All right, I forgot Minnesota Wild for like 9 years. You're right. That's where he spent the most time, I think, right? Or it's tied between Devils and Wild. Anyway, 420. I said I'm open to it if I'm wrong, as long as you can prove it to me. But I know what I understood at the time is what I'm relating right now. And I've never heard different. But those kind of things do sometimes, we hear one thing and the truth comes out later. So I'm open to that being the case because I'm not perfect, obviously. I don't know everything, but I know what I remember, and that's what I remember. $25 people. Thumbs up if you're having a good time. And I'll remind you, we're going to do this again on Wednesday because there was supposed to be a game Wednesday. It's not going to be. Thursday, I'm getting my shot. Doubt I'm going to do a live stream. But depending on what day my family and I do Christmas, I'm going to do a live stream either on Christmas Eve or on Christmas Day. So I don't know which one yet. Look for it. That's all I can tell you. That's an interesting shot there, Matt, eh?
What?
If someone tuning in, they're going, what is that? When your head down, you see just the band of your headphones. You're going, what is that?
Yeah, so it looks like
420. Looks like what?
There's 2 games scheduled tomorrow, depending on how testing goes. They may or may not be played. But if they are played, it's those 2, and then that's it. And then the league's paused.
What games? Who's playing?
The Caps and the Lightning, and then there's
Lightning have no COVID issues. That I know. Renault, I do think Pizzetta can become a regular on the fourth line. I do. When they do the rebuild or whatever they're doing, I think he'll get an opportunity. I like Pizzetta too.
Tampa and Vegas and Washington and Philly, but I don't think that Washington Philly game's going to happen because
that one not. But Tampa and Vegas apparently no COVID cases either team.
So that probably will happen. But I know with the in Philly's case, Kevin Hayes and
Philly's got
a couple
some.
of the players got pulled from practice today.
Yeah. So probably that one's not going, but the Tampa game has a chance because, like I said, no COVID cases there. But tomorrow that could change, right? I mean, the way it's going.
Right, yeah. You're exactly right. Apparently Vegas and Edmonton are the only two teams left that haven't lost in overtime. Just taking a look at the standings.
Really?
That's kind of funny. Yeah. Vegas is 20-11-0 and Edmonton's 18-11-0.
That's weird, to not have a good record like that and not have not gone to overtime.
Yeah. Jeez.
In a way, it hurts them.
7-21-3. Ouch.
That's us.
Yeah, I know. We're 3 points ahead of Arizona right now. We're projected second overall pick.
But don't they have games in hand on us?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so it depends how those games in hand would work out. We're basically tied. Like, it's neck and neck with Montreal and Arizona to finish at the bottom. So, anything new? No. Everybody leave. Where'd everybody go?
I have my booster scheduled for January 2nd, so that'll be cool.
Awesome. We'll be back playing, hopefully, by then.
No keyword there is hopefully.
Hopefully. No game schedule, so you're good for that. Yeah, the only game against a Canadian team is on the 6th of January. So if they keep the cross-border shit going, we're not playing till January 6th. That's how that's going to work. Pablo, no, probably not. But I'm just saying, as it stands, they're basically even. Arizona, Montreal, neck and neck to finish last. When you look on, I know there's a betting site. I don't know the name of the site, but they put that ring out, and they got playoffs, first round, second round, third round. They give every team's chances to make it. Montreal, and I thought Arizona was there, but Montreal not even in the ring. They're not making the playoffs. So, and they're not making the playoffs. Anybody thinks that some miracle will happen and they'll make the playoffs?
They just went out the rest of their games.
They have to, almost literally. I mean, they got to win 7 out of 10 going forward to get out. And I think if they win 7 out of 10 going forward, they don't make it that far out of the bottom 10. And then, so who wants that?
Exactly. I'd rather, as painful as it is, I'd rather them keep losing and stay where they are.
Would I expand the NHL ice size? Man, that's something I never really thought about.
That'd be interesting. That would be really interesting.
It's interesting in that I think we need a little more room out there as it is. So I'd be definitely considering that. The problem with that is, how do you do that? You can only do that kind of going forward. New arena builds, you make them bigger, but I don't know that you can do that straight off. I guess they could take away one ring of seats, make them bigger, but still, I think bigger ice might be a little bit better because there's like no room at all anymore, and I think it gets too blocked up.
Not only that too, but going forward in terms of international competition, it'd be good for the players to kind of be used to playing on that type of,
good point,
on ice that wide.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, definitely. Let's see. By 1985, Lafleur's asked to be traded. Serge Savard refused his request. With no other options, he decided to retire, and his departure from the Canadiens was considered acrimonious. There, see, he wanted to get out. He wanted to continue, but he couldn't there. If they were forcing him out, that's not forced out. So I don't know. I kind of agree with Bayby's what he said there. That's how I know it. I forgot about that. He did ask to be traded. He wanted out. He wanted to play, but they wouldn't let him go somewhere else. I mean, he didn't want to play in their system anymore. It was too suffocating for him. James, yeah, that's what happened, right? Yeah, he didn't get forced out because if you forced him out, so they trade him. Guy Lafleur was tradable. How could he was tradable? Why would they just force him out? They don't want him there, trade him. But they didn't want to trade him. Pablo, definitely they'd want to put ads on a bigger ice surface for sure. Renault, but why get players like that? Brandon Tanev, JT Miller. What's the use if you're rebuilding? You're taking on big contracts. You don't want to take on any big contracts, any big numbers. You don't want older players. Tyler Durden, all these cancellations are hugely an overreaction. Well, no, I don't think so for sports. I don't. I'm not really for locking down us as citizens. I don't think it's an overreaction in sports right now. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. Especially with some of the after effects, like in and I just know this because it happened to the Red Sox, but Eddie Rodriguez, who pitched for the Red Sox, had COVID, and then he ended up missing the rest of the year with myocarditis. So
yeah, but I mean, it doesn't affect people like that, so they don't believe it. At 420 everything, no problem. I hope I wasn't too harsh, but anyway, I sometimes can be. Sorry about it if I was. Did LA get a good return for Gretzky to St. Louis? I have no freaking idea. Considering what? St. Louis was the last team Gretzky played for? I think, or second to last. No, New York was the last team. I think the Rangers. I don't imagine they got a ton, though, for Gretzky, and I don't remember, did Gretzky get traded there, or did he sign as a free agent? If he signed as a free agent, there's no return. Hey, Amy from Pierrefonds, how's it going? Yeah, babe, not that we do know. That's what he didn't like. He didn't like the trap. He didn't want to play the trap. He wasn't allowed to use his offense and creativity, and he didn't like it. No problem, 420. Sometimes I'm right. Not always. So, anybody know that question there? And I don't know why that's important, but what did LA get anything for Gretzky to St. Louis? Wasn't that an free agent?
I'm on the case.
Okay, yeah, right. Because then the free agent signing, well, there's no return. Yeah, I mean that was their reasoning. But listen, if they were trying to force him out, though, you trade him instead of doing something like that, because forcing a player out like that can't be any better. And they could have got something back for Lafleur at the time. Amy, really impossible to answer that. Really impossible. Who'll be the next GM?
It was a trade to the Blues.
It was a trade? Who'd they get?
It was.
Well, no, Luc Robitaille is the president of the LA Kings. Why would he come here to be a GM or a coach?
It was Wayne Gretzky to St. Louis in exchange for Patrice Tardif, Romain Vopat, Craig Johnson, and 2 picks, which turned into Peter Hogan and Matt Zoltek.
In other words, nobody. But Gretzky was at the end of his career almost.
And it's from what I'm reading, Gretzky actually orchestrated the trade.
There you go. There you go. 420 is asking to use Hockey DB. Sometimes I do. By refusing to trade him, they kind of forced him to retire. In that respect, I guess. But it's not the same thing as forcing a guy out. That's purposely forcing a guy out to say, well, we didn't want to trade him, so he retired. It's not exactly the same thing, but you're right. It's a different way to do it, but I don't think they wanted him to retire. Amy, Bob Hartley. Yeah, I don't know. Bob Hartley wouldn't be my guy, but I guess he has to be a candidate because he speaks French. But he's coaching in the KHL, I think. Bob Hartley. I don't know if he still is, but he was. And besides, new coach will be in the offseason. If they do remove Ducharme, which now with all this probably unlikely, I think it would only be to promote Luke Richardson. I think you look for the coach in the offseason because you got a better group to choose from. Pocklington had to trade him as cash was hurting, but Pocklington didn't trade him from LA. Pocklington traded him to LA, Bay-By, not the other way around. Pizzetta could be Caulfield's version of McSorley. That's a pretty good point, Bruno. I'll give you that one. I don't know you do that today, but I think Pizzetta, I don't think he could play. See, McSorley was a defenseman, right?
Without the whole trying to decapitate someone on the ice type of thing.
But McSorley was a defenseman. Easier to have him out on the ice to protect a guy like Gretzky, whereas Pizzetta is a fourth liner. I don't know how that works exactly, but I like Pizzetta though.
But as I said, let's not have Pizzetta try to tomahawk someone's head off.
Did Pizzetta try to do that?
No, you was comparing him to Marty McSorley.
Oh, yeah. Well, he did that to not his own player.
No, but I still don't want Michael Pizzetta to try to kill somebody like that.
No, true. Did you guys see the altercation in practice between Drouin and Kulak?
No, that's interesting.
They mixed it up a little bit. What happened was they're, I guess, practicing. So they're the red and white against each other for whatever they were practicing. I don't know. But at some point, Kulak's got the puck coming up along the boards. And Drouin comes in and kind of hits him with a stick at the puck, right? Hits him. So Kulak then throws the puck into the corner. I guess they blew the whistle, whatever what they were doing. And then Kulak lifts his stick and does that to Drouin. And then they get up face to face. They push a little bit and blah, 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 and then it's over. So, yeah, a little altercation. Kulak didn't take kindly to being hit with Drouin smashing him with the stick on the thigh. So, I thought it was funny. It's good, though. That's good kind of stuff. It means they're involved. They're involved in it. It's okay. No fighting, no fist swinging or anything like that. Harvey Pinard be a star in a few more seasons. He would have got an opportunity here. They called him up. They called up Pinard, Harvey Pinard, Belzile, and Vadimo just before they shut everything down for them. So too bad he would have had an opportunity. .420 and Pavlo and I've heard that Hartley is happy there in Russia. I don't think Hartley's coming back here. Price for a Fleury and a first. Yeah, I don't see that happening. They're not sending Price to Chicago. First of all, Carey Price has a no movement clause. He has to approve that. I don't think he's going to Chicago. So no. And besides, Fleury's retiring after this season. Am I wrong? Marc-Andre Fleury. This was he went to Chicago. He said he was going to do it one season. That's what I remember. Am I wrong? Anybody know if I'm right on that?
I think you're right.
Bay-By thinks Ducharme's going nowhere. Yeah, I don't know. I can't see them bringing him back. Boy, imagine what you think. What do you think would happen, Matt? They say, well, Ducharme's coming back next season. Fan revolt?
Probably.
I kind of think so.
I don't think there's any way he could come back next year. Nah.
Fleury waived his no trade clause, but he said he's retiring. I don't see Price going. First of all, Price not going to Chicago. I think you can rule that out. Why are you trading him for a guy that's retiring at the end? I mean, no. You're going to trade Price, you're going to get something back going forward, not somebody that's going to not be here next year. No. Price waived it just at the draft, but that is back in place. Oilers make sense. Oilers make sense because, going to Oilers, Fleury could really help them maybe win a cup. It literally could. It's a big piece they're missing, and that makes sense. But for Fleury and Price to trade spots on two shitty teams going nowhere makes absolutely no sense at all. Sorry. Romanov is the next Paul Coffey? Paul Coffey was a shitty defenseman as far as defense. So I don't see that. And I don't think Romanov has that kind of offense in him. Paul Coffey has 100 points a year for a few years there. I don't see that from Romanov. That's no. You see Romanov being turning into a star offensive defenseman?
Not to like a level like Paul Coffey or anything like that, but I think he could be a good. I think he can be a solid puck mover.
I think he can be more offensive than he is now, but not.
Yeah, I think he could be solid. I wouldn't.
Yeah, but no, I mean you can't compare that to Paul Coffey. Right. I mean Paul Coffey was offensively was a hell of a hockey player. His defense was not great. Pavlo, I know I heard that. I thought he said he was retiring at the end of the season. Maybe I'm wrong. Still, you're not moving Price for Fleury. Like, I don't see that. People are saying that only because Fleury's French. I mean, that's the only reason. And really, Carey Price waiving his no movement to go to Chicago, not happening. He might like the Bears. I want to go there for the Bears. Ilonen could be the next Yari Curry. Jesus. I hope so. That's a big ask for Ilonen. But I think Ilonen's going to be a good hockey player. To say the next Yari Curry, I think it's a really big ask. But hey, I hope that you're right. I really do. That would be awesome if Ilonen was that good. Be freaking awesome. He wouldn't go to the Rangers either. Honestly, where's Carey Price going to waive his no movement to go to a contending team out west? Combination of that too. Yeah, he's not doing that for Chicago or New York. Franco, you got to believe it. To me, the only place Price I could even understand him saying, "Yeah, I'll go there," is Seattle. His wife's from that area. He played hockey in that area. He likes that area. Like, I get that. It's close to home. Other than that, if he's waiving it, he's going somewhere where he thinks he can win a cup. What's this? Why is Gretzky coming up so often? Hey, Bruce McDonald bought Gretzky's contract from Peter Pocklington in '88. Yep, basically he was sold to the LA Kings. But why is there like a Gretzky anniversary or something? Like, I don't know where the Gretzky talk all of a sudden's coming out. I mean, one of the best players ever to play the game, so I get that. We should be able to talk about him anytime. I get that, but just curious.
Mm-hmm. official announcement here. Well, it's anyway being reported. We already kind of touched on this, but the NHL, if they can, are gonna play all the postponed games during that 3-week break.
Yep.
But that's like I said, it's a big if.
Scheduling nightmare, but doesn't mean it can't be done. Jordan Kenny says that he doesn't think Price is going to leave. I think that's a possibility. I mean, it's up to him. If he doesn't want to leave, he don't have to. He's got no movement. There's nothing they can do. Andre, yeah, if you live in bear country, you do get those warnings. Yeah. Yeah, not a good thing to run into a bear.
They're kind of sleeping now, so I wouldn't worry about it.
No, but he said in summertime.
Oh, God, yeah.
Spring and summertime, for sure you get bear warnings. Not here. There's no bears here, but... 420, they have bears in Russia. Did you know that? They have bears in Russia. As a matter of fact, isn't the bear a big symbol for Russia? So, yeah. Not unusual. Mike, that's a possibility. You might be right. I still say if Price is healthy, and Billy, they can find that out. Yeah, there's teams that'll take him. The thing is, how do you work out the contract, right? It's a big contract. Mm-hmm. You got to hold money, whatever. But there's teams that'll take him. I'm confident of that. And no pun intended here, but if the price is right, yeah, teams will take him.
And I mean, even though he's out right now, the return would still be pretty nice.
It should be a pretty decent return, but I mean, depending on, like, I wouldn't expect. How do I want to put it? I mean, I wouldn't expect a truckload of a return for Price.
No, but I mean, it's gonna have to be a good deal for Gorton to even consider.
Well, yeah, of course. It's going to be a good deal, but it's not going to be what it might have been a few years ago. I mean, that's, he's 34.
Oh my God, you kidding me? A few years ago, it'd be like 2 top prospects, 8 first-round picks.
I still think
8 second-round picks.
No, but I still think you can get a first-rounder and a good prospect for him. I think so. But you gotta hold some money. And the amount you hold is probably, going to decide.
Well, the max you can hold is 50%. So the max the Canadiens can
go. So say you hold
$5 million.
Say you hold $3-4 million. Say 3.5, something like that, right? Or the more you hold, the better the prospect would be coming back, or that first-round draft pick, getting a first-round draft pick along with it. I got to think that. Russia, I read a book about Russia. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of it. It's called Ruska. What's the name of the goddamn author? He writes about countries. It's kind of, he's got a story that's fiction that's weaved in with the nonfiction stuff of the history and all that. I read that. A very, very interesting country. Very interesting country. Why do you think I like Markov so much? Markov was a great player.
The general.
There's no doubt Markov was a great player. There's talk about them bringing him back for 10 games now and letting him retire here. But he was a great player. I just don't agree that he was like the second or third best Habs defenseman of all time. That's all. Was he amongst the best Habs defenseman of all time? Sure. But not that high. I
love Markov. I'd love for them to bring him back for the 10 games. What the hell?
Yeah. He's only 43. He turned 43.
Nothing to lose. There's nothing to lose.
He turned 43 today. When you think about it, he's 43. Not as old as I thought. And I think the guy could probably do 10 games. Especially when you're rebuilding and stuff. What's the difference?
There's nothing to lose. He's Russian. He's tough as nails.
I kind of agree.
Hell, he could even help Romanov.
He sure could. Absolutely, he could. Why he could mentor Romanov? It wouldn't be a bad idea. Totally, and especially when you're rebuilding like that.
He wouldn't. He honestly wouldn't be like a bad like defensive coach.
No, playing coach, maybe a playing coach, get his 10 games in, work with the guys. Not a bad idea.
No, it's not.
Gaston Gingras. Brad. This is Brad. He wants Gaston Gingras. Will coach this team. Is he even coaching? Like you say that, but is he even a coach? Denny Potvin for GM. That's an interesting name. Is he? I thought Denny Potvin is doing color commentary for the Islanders games. That's what I thought. I don't know if that makes him a GM though. James, yeah, I mean, but it's, will they do it? I don't know. It would be a classy move, I guess. And it's if you're rebuilding, I mean, I guess you could do it, right? No BS with Russian people. There's as much BS with Russian people as anywhere else.
People number one bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh man, as much as watching that celebration song, that was hilarious.
What celebration?
Kucherov, when he was drunk at the podium, he was like,
"Oh, yeah.
Number one bullshit."
Yeah, number one in bullshit.
Number one bullshit.
Gingras coaching in Iceland. Gingras coaching in Iceland. Yeah, I don't know if that's who we need here as head coach. No, I want to get a qualified head coach. Do I remember John Candy? Of course I remember John Candy.
I fucking love John Candy.
Where's Denny Savard? He loved it here in Montreal. That's a good question. I don't know. I have no idea where Denny Savard is and what he's doing right now. Those Slavic countries, I find the people, especially women, not afraid to speak their mind too much when they're here anyway in North America. I don't know how much they like speaking their mind when Putin's their president. You end up, oops, fell out of window. Right? That's the
oops, fell onto bullet.
Yeah, no, fell, yeah. He jump on bullet penetrates skin. Let's just say there, yeah, I read that. Anyway, we'll do another couple minutes and then we're gonna take off.
Yeah, I miss John Candy. All those legends, honestly, all those comedy legends from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, we had it good, man. Good stuff. I'm going to watch, when we're done here, I'm going to watch that new series, the Yellowstone series, 1883. I've got 2 episodes to watch I'm looking forward to. Name a qualified French head coach that hasn't coached before, and there's your guy. Yeah, that's the problem, though. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anybody. $4.20 early. Yeah, so sorry. He poisoned himself. Drink himself to death. I like fell out window. But he worked in the subway. Yes, fell out window. James, yeah, people all over the world are basically the same, but I mean, depending where you're from, we have differences, but yeah, everywhere. Get past the politics, and people are better, but politics fucks everything up. Ooh, did I swear? Yeah, they're not bringing and Mike. An ego thing. I think. Wow, the egos. I don't know if that's going to work with. Remember, what did Gorton say when he in his first press conference? Right, it's going to be a team approach, a team thing. I don't know that Raw fits into that. Honestly, I don't. Sorry, your French comes out when we talk about Roy. I love Patrick Roy. I mean, as a player, I don't know about as a coach here or a GM. Not for me. All right, I think we're going to wrap it up because, yeah, why not? All right, so like I said, I'll be back, and I hope Matt will be back with me on Wednesday. It was supposed to be the Rangers game.
Yeah, I'll be here.
We're not obviously not doing games, so we're not doing that. On Thursday, the New Jersey game, which is also off. Well, maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I want to do 2 in a row, and I'm getting my booster shot on Thursday, so probably not going to do that. And then, like I said, one of the 2, either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, I'm going to do a live stream, and we'll talk about what's going on. And then by Sunday, they'll decide whether they're going to have the games back by the following Monday, and then maybe we'll be back at it. Although I don't know, because Montreal has to go cross-border. So unless cross-border gets reopened, Montreal could be off for a few more games after that, if they do come back. I don't really expect we'll be back till in the new year for games. That's what I think. So we'll see what happens. We'll see who's right. And yeah. All right. So thanks everybody for being here. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm blanking on who gave the donation. I think it was Habs Guru.
It was Pablo.
Pablo. Thanks, Pablo, for the dono. Really appreciate that. Your name will be in the draw for that style hat, which is coming up soon enough. It's really slow for that. So, but it'll be happening soon. And yeah, that's it. Thanks everybody for being here. Really appreciate that you guys came out, even though there was no game. Thanks, Matt, for being here tonight, as always. And yeah, we're going to take off here. So have a great rest of the night. Stay safe out there. Do the best you can. Hopefully we don't get locked down. And we'll see where we go from there. So we'll see you in a couple of days. Have a great one. Thanks for being here. Stay safe out there. Peace out, y'all.
Cheers.
We shall see you next time. Bye, everybody.